Hello everybody, welcome to #Friday Sews. My name's Carole, this is my channel Sew Carole, and on today's Friday Sews I have a lot to talk about. So I hope I'm not going to keep you too long and I'll keep to my list. But first of all, I wanted to say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating this special hashtag that you can just type into the YouTube search bar and then up will pop all the latest Friday sews from across the world. So many channels doing some wonderful things, and every single channel is different, and that's what makes the sewing community so amazing. Before I start on the sewing and the things I've sewn this week, I just want to say an enormous thank you and shout out to Agatha from Agatha's Cottage. She's based in Ireland with a lovely channel, and she very often presents with her wonderful daughter Alice, who is full of fun, and it's just brilliant to watch the two of them interact together. Anyway, this is a belated birthday card. Now, before my birthday back in May, Agatha sent me a message asking for my address and she wanted to send me a card. So we did all that. Time went by, birthday went by, time went by, and nothing. Then the other day, I think it was last Friday, I received something in my post box. So this has taken 5 months to get to me from Ireland to the UK. I just had to show you. I mean, we both gave up hope that it was ever gonna get here. So where has it been? She sent me a beautiful birthday card. It's amazing getting a birthday card so much later, and some lovely little words in it and some little gifts. And in there, she gave me some lovely little labels, all different labels, handmade with love, all sorts of different things. And she gave me this special little tool, which initially I thought was a quick unpick seam unripper, but it isn't. It's one of her favourite tools, and it is for grabbing the ends when you've serged or overlock a seam and you want to pull them through. I use a tapestry needle at the moment, but apparently this is going to be amazing. So now I've shown you, I can have a go with it. So thank you very much, Agatha. What a wonderful sewing friend I have found, and all through #Friday Sews. So I have been very, very busy this week. One thing I managed to get done was some Project Dresser Girl dresses, and this is something that I really desperately wanted to try and get done in September. But if I didn't get it done in September, that was okay, because the UK ambassador takes them all year round, so it's not going to be a problem. So I made 3 dresses, and the dress pattern I used was New Look 6386. It's one that the Dresser Girl Around the World website actually recommends. Super simple. I think they call it very similar to a pillowcase dress. So I managed to make 3 various sizes as I trace the pattern off. We have an orange one, we have a smaller blue one, and then this one here. All very simple. I haven't fancied them up very much at all. I did make my own bias binding in the end on some of them because it's softer, isn't it? And I think it's more economical anyway than buying bias binding. 2 pockets on there, got the label on. I hope to be able to make a few more, and I will try and put them up on Instagram, so hopefully they can be included in Mary's Sews count, but if not, but they will be going off to the UK ambassador anyway. I'm just going to give you an update on the bag I made to go with my wedding outfit. This was the bag. What I've done is actually I put some cardboard inside it to make it a bit more rigid. Even though I did put some interfacing in, because it's this really soft linen, it was kind of flopsy. So I put some cardboard in. I also did use these things I made in the end, these little tabs, and I bought a cheap chain off Amazon, and now it looks quite a classy little bag, I think. So I made 2 style arc tops this week. I was kind of encouraged to buy style arc patterns because they were discounted on Amazon, and you could get the actual printed version, which was perfect for me. I won't go on about how I don't like PDF printing again. I had success with one and not so much with the other. I'll start with the one that I wasn't particularly keen on. It's the Fran knit top, sorry. Very basic top pattern. Now, yes, great for beginners, absolutely great for beginners, but it didn't quite give me the shape that I was looking for. I made it out of this wonderful jersey, cotton jersey. Isn't that just fantastic? It's like fireworks. Made it up, absolutely no problem at all. It's a very simple thing to make. I'm going to show you in a minute about the curved hem, but what I don't think I liked about it is that as it's got, the front is one full piece. The back has the seams for the sleeves. So that means the sleeves are split. Now, I know we've all talked about this before, whether we're not really keen on it, but yeah, so you've got a seam that runs all the way down. Now that doesn't matter too much in this fabric, but on a lighter or a plain fabric, you're going to see that seam, and it's not really necessary. The other thing is being cut all on the front meant you don't get the shaping that you would do if you had armholes at the front. So it's kind of baggy here. I do love the top because the fabric is amazing. I wouldn't make that top again. I've got better tops. In fact, for a simple sort of top, then I would choose this one. I would choose this one again. It is a bit tighter fitting, but you could easily make it looser. And this is a very well-worn pattern than mine, New Look 6426. I have made this countless times. So yeah, the only thing about this, it had a nice curved hem. Now, it just says to sew the hem. Now, if you're a beginner, sewing up a curved hem, pressing it up and sewing up a curved hem is actually quite a tricky thing to get quite right. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of footage in here, is how I do it. So I'm coming to hem the Fran top, and as you can see, it's got these lovely shaped hems. Now, there are two ways of doing it. The way I would normally do it, and the way that is probably the best result. So I'm going to show you the best result. Normally you would just kind of work it out, finger press it round, but sometimes you can end up sort of with a sharp angle and it doesn't work out that smooth. So what I'm going to do is, what they tell you to do on a lot of patterns actually, is actually put a running tacking stitch in around the curve. So I'm going to do that. I have very gently pulled up the tacking stitches, and as you can see, it naturally is folding in and it's creating a nice smooth line here. So if I press that down, I'm going to end up with a nice smooth curve instead of lumps and bumps. Yes, this bit will be gathered, but the most important thing, of course, is this beautiful curve here. Now I've pressed it and I've pinned it, and I've then removed the gathering stitch, and as you can see, I am left with a lovely curve. So I'm now going to go over to my machine and finish it. I'm going to go do cover stitch, but you can do twin needle or zigzag or however you normally finish your jersey, but it should end up with a nice curve. So as you can see, it does create quite a nice curve. Now that's not something I invented, it's a pattern I've done in the past which has encouraged you to do that. And it takes a little bit of time, but it is so much easier when you get to just pull it in and press it if you've done that line of stitching. So yeah, that was the first top. I love it, but I wouldn't make the pattern again. So the second style art pattern I made, I absolutely love. This is the second time I've made it. I made it just before I went away on my holidays out of a kind of a tie-dye, really fine knit fabric, and I've made it again. So it's got a kind of balloon shape, it's got a seam down the back, and then it's almost like a skirt portion, so it makes it very relaxed, slightly balloon shape. Well, I made it before I went away, as I said, and I absolutely loved it. When I was on holiday, I bought this beautiful burgundy kind of plum soft, I think they call it teddy bear plush. Well, I've made it in that, and even when I was sewing it, I knew it's going to be my new favourite garment. You know, when you know what you are sewing is going to be a success and you're going to love it. Well, this was the case. So it's balloon shape, and it's got lovely sleeves, and it's so cozy, so lovely. The only thing I would say is the slight rippling on the seam here. I don't quite know what to do about that. I probably should have stabilised the seam, but on the other version I did, because it was that tie-dye fabric, I cover stitched the edge to make it a feature. I don't really want to risk doing it on this because I haven't got exactly the right colour thread. So I don't want to play with it anymore because I love it so much, and yeah, I'm so happy with this. It was an absolute win. So no to the Fran top, but yes to the Sunny top because it's just my style. Now you may have spotted this lovely creature behind me. Now this is the one reason I don't do makes and plans videos, is because something always happens and something gets thrown at me to sew, which puts everything else behind. So at the weekend, my daughter asked me if I would make a dress for her to go to a wedding, but she's going to a wedding this Saturday. Okay, so here we go. I had planned mine sort of months in advance, my wedding outfit. This is a different wedding, but yeah, she's going on Saturday. So she loves a dress that I've made her before, and we, between us, call it the magic dress. Now, I've made a couple in the past, and I highly recommend this dress, but it's New Look 2650. It is basically a long t-shirt with a split, but it has a tie that you insert into the front section and you just tie it. It's really quick to make up. So I said to Katie, if you can get some fabric to me, choose some fabric, get some fabric to me this week, I will make it for you. And here it is. Now, this was a really lovely viscose jersey, and I got it from Minerva because I know I can get fabric quickly from them. I wasn't sure when it came that it would be kind of dressy enough, but actually now it's made up, I think it looks really super. So all I've got left to do is hem the sleeves and hem the bottom, because I'm just waiting to see, just to check for her to check it. But I am really jealous of this. Why is it every time I make something for Katie, I'm so jealous? The only thing I will say is I've got quite a bit of this fabric left over, which could easily make a top for me. So that's what I might do. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. So yeah, if you ever want what we call a magic dress, because it just cinches you in at the waist, I do raise that slightly. I'll raise it about an inch actually to make it so it doesn't sit directly on your waist, but just slightly up. It just creates a beautiful silhouette, and it's a really quick win to make. So yeah, that will be for Katie. When I was sewing this, because it's such a lightweight viscose, I used a sewing spider. Now this is what I call a sewing spider. Now, I wondered if any of you use it. Now, I know a lot of quilters use it, and I think it's called a leader and an ender in quilting, but there's another term for it called a spider, and I think that's much more fun to use that. So I used it when I was sewing this, and it makes it so much easier. I'll put a tiny bit of footage in now to show you how I use it. I'm sure many of you have come across this before, but in case you haven't, and it is only something that I discovered a couple of years ago and I've been sewing all my life, if you put that little bit of scrap fabric at the beginning, it stops the needle from sticking in the fabric, and you know when it bunches right at the beginning, especially on something a lightweight knit like this, it just all gets stuck in. The first needle punch just seems to stick in, and you get a bit of a nest. So having a spider gets all that out of the way. It can do whatever it wants on there. By the time it gets to your fabric, it's going to sew straight. Also, apparently it saves a lot of thread because you're not sort of pulling it off. And if you're quilting particularly, you can just use it and join bits. Apparently it saves a lot of thread, but the main reason I use it is to stop that bunching, and I've got a smooth line before I even hit the fabric. So in case you've never seen it before, I just thought I'd introduce you to it. Now, you lovely Americans out there quite often go on about your pattern sales. Well, on the UK websites, they did a half price simplicity sale this week. So half price is good enough for me. So I did pick up a couple of patterns. This one here, I have had real FOMO over, fear of missing out, because so many people have made this pattern and it's been a real success. And I didn't have it in my stash. So that's Simplicity 8601. Whether I'll get round to it before next year, I'm not so sure. But I really do love that one there with the flutter sleeve. But yeah, now I've got it, I'm happy. This one here is a little baby one, but the reason I liked it, it's because it's just a pull-on dress. It's got that envelope neck, pull-on little jersey dress. Starts at extra small, which is 0 to 3 months, so little Chloe's still a little bit too small for it, but definitely you can make a nice little winter dress out of that one. And no buttons, no closures, just the envelope neck. So sorry, that's Simplicity 9282. And the third one is Simplicity 9785, and I hadn't seen this one before, but I really like the look of these trousers, and also they've got like a cargo pocket version on the side, and you know I'm a sucker for cargo pockets, but I really did like the front of that. Looks like they're nice and high-waisted, which I like. So yeah, that was Simplicity 9785, 3 new patterns. Plus, I also had my Sewing Box knit box subscription come this week. All I did was take off the wrapping, so I haven't looked inside it. It's actually quite a hefty box this time round. Now, this is a shop that's based in Bournemouth that I buy this from. Oh, dear Carole, enjoy September's box. Happy stitching. This is interesting. Seam pressing roller. Now that will be good for a quilter, I presume. Flatten seams, folds, all shapes without using an iron. I haven't got one of those, so that could be quite good if I'm doing any little more mug rugs, for example. We got some nice colours in here. Look what we have. Look at those, gorgeous. I think we'd say sorbet colours, wouldn't we? So this, I've just seen what's underneath. This is a beautiful sorbet kind of coloured rib knit, and this is a blue rib knit. And look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is just gorgeous. Absolutely scrumptious this is. I just love that. Pastel colours. It's a beautiful cotton jersey. If I find out it's a poppy again, let's see. Where's the salvage? Where's the salvage? Ah, can't find it. There's nothing written on there. See if anything says on here. It just says fun cotton jersey. It just so much looks like a poppy jersey, doesn't it? See, immediately I'm thinking pyjamas, okay. Or do I keep it for spring? It's got to be pyjamas really, hasn't it? It's too light for a t-shirt maybe. But it's too gorgeous for pyjamas. So thank you, my sewing box. I'm in a real dilemma over this one because it's absolutely beautiful. So what am I going to be sewing next week? Who knows, eh? One thing I am doing is a little present for my husband because it's our wedding anniversary the following weekend. So I'm getting something sewn up for him for the anniversary. So I'm busy on that at the moment. But I'm not going to say any more just in case he does watch this video. Another thing I'm going to be making next week is the material from my fabric wheel of fate. I want to get that made up as well. I did put out a video this week on my favourite autumn. I was going through my wardrobe, but sort of just about to change the wardrobe over to autumn, and I came across all these pieces that I absolutely love and kind of forgot about, the ones that I made last year. So thank you so much for such a positive response to that video. It was amazing, thank you, and I'm glad that I might have inspired you to have a look through, see what you've got. Certainly before you start the autumn sewing again, just have a look, see what you got from last year, see what was successful. I know a lot of those patterns I kind of forgotten about and I will definitely be recreating for this year. But no, thanks for watching that. Now, I will apologise in advance, but I do have a video coming out tomorrow on Saturday. It was a the final Busy Bee challenge number 3, and just the way the dates fell, it's coming out tomorrow. And that's one thing I don't really like to do, is bombard you with videos, but yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. And then I got another one coming out maybe on Tuesday, a bit of our secret, another collab. So I'm so sorry, you'll see so much of me next week, but yeah, it's just the way all the dates have coincided together. The photos I'm going to leave you with at the end really sum up autumn for me. Talking about spiders earlier leads really nicely to a majority of the photos that I'm going to put at the end. Don't worry, no spiders. But in the autumn is when it starts getting very dewy in the morning, and that is when you see all the spider webs that are out and about in the forest, and there are some incredible ones. Now, why am I showing you spider webs, you wonder, when this is a channel about sewing? Well, I think as sewists, we can actually appreciate the detail that go into these perfect, because again, they're sewing their webs, aren't they? They're weaving them. So I've got some marvellous pictures I'll put at the end. And also because it's autumn, in the forest, it's starting to get puddly again, and this is when my log balancing skills have to come into play. I like to do a lot of walks off the main paths, which involve a lot of mud, and very often there's logs to balance to go across. So yeah, this is where my log core balance things really come into test. So those are the photos at the end. At the weekend, we're very busy. We've got the boys for a majority of the weekend, so we'll be certainly kept on our toes, so there will be not chance that I will be sewing. But I do hope you manage to get a really good sewing or craft weekend, and I really appreciate you watching my channel and being so loyal, as a lot of you are. Thank you very much, and I will see you very shortly. So sorry about that. And I'll see you again, #Friday Sews, next week. Bye bye for now.